Very good evening. Well, I am Rajneesh Kumar and I am giving a lecture on the topic of here, the project management. Before entering this topic, at least we must know what exactly the project is. What exactly the project is? Basically, in a very crude sense, the project is nothing, it is simply a piece of assigned work. The project is nothing, it is simply a piece of assigned work. And one word is the added, that is the management, and it is well known to you. Management is nothing, it is simply the managing by planning, organizing, controlling, leading, and the monitoring. So, a piece of work, the project is nothing, it is simply a piece of the work. I have already defined it here. The project is simply a piece of work organized by a project manager. You are the futuristic manager of your company. Oh, so the project manager is a person concerned who will organize the project. That's why it becomes so much important from your side. You are the concerned anyhow in the organization. Again, the project is simply a piece of the work organized by the project manager. But within the specified time, the time is a very important resources for the any dynamic and the brilliant company. That is why this piece of work to be achieved, to be organized well within the specified time on the temporary basis. Mind it. It is on a temporary basis. Temporary basis means the project is never be a long-term objective. The project never be a long-term mission. It may be of the nature of the always project is on the temporary basis. But it requires the specific tools, qualifications, and the KPI, where the K stands for the key, P stands for the performance, and the I for the indicators. So, in any type of the project, you will find the so many the key points, indicators. Just I am giving a very classic example to you. Take the example of the Indian Railway. The earlier, the total running of the Indian Railway was the completely based on the coal. Then after the project came that should be the coal must be minimized. It was the supplemented maximum by the diesel engine. And then after, because both the coal and the diesel has never been a cost effective and also adding the pollution. And it is nowhere the matching with the sustainable development of the economy of the country or of the world. That's why the electricity. Now, the electrification is completely on in the Indian Railway, and I think more than the 95% the Indian Railway has been the electrified. So that was the vision, temporary mission, and the finally achieved by the Indian Railway. Just remember the 30 years back where the each and the everything was the happening manually. But when the computerization came into the country like the India, it was the too difficult to get the Indian and to make the Indian fully computerized. But department wise, with the great help of the computer education and our technocrats and our bureaucrats, and finally it happened. Now each and every department is almost the well computerized. It may be the bank, it may be the airlines, it may be the railway. There are so many other departments. So that was not a mission of the 50 years. This was the mission of the 5 and the 6 year, and finally India is the, we can very confidently say more than the 80%, the India is the country that is the fully literate, at least right now. Just I am also giving one example. Take the example of the DRDO. When the director of the Mr. Kalam was, there was a project for the Agni 1, Agni 2, Agni 3, Agni 4. This was the very time based, and finally it happened. And it became the very much fruitful. And our military strength and the missile technology was the appreciated well in all over the world. That was also a project of the DRDO. Now I am giving a well example of the 20 years back, when the Damodar Valley Corporation and JBB, Jharkhand Bijli Board, the TISCO was the main consumer, but the company like TISCO does not want that the power should be erratic. So the TISCO wants the continuous power, and this sort of the power the TISCO was the not getting from the DVC and the JBC. So there was a discussion, and finally came out a project that was the Tata Power project. The TISCO itself established the Tata Power project, and the Tata Power project is nothing, it is simply a generation of the power. Now there is no need of the supply of the DVC and the JBB. Tata Power project is the itself sufficient to feed the energy of the TISCO. And not only the TISCO, at the time of the need, it also provides to the her sister concern like the Telco, Tin Plate, Agrico and the other companies. So that was the project. And it was the project of the 5 years. Finally, it comes well within the Tata Power project, and right now the Tata Power project is the supplying and the selling the electricity to NCLRs and the sister concerns. So the project is always temporary based. Here again I am repeating. The project is simply a piece of the work organized by a project manager. You engineer are the futuristic manager of your company. Within the specified time on the temporary basis, it requires the specific tools, qualification and the KPI, key performance indicators. And this is the needed for you. And you will have to act a play like this. Some of the phases you must understand what exactly this is. Number 1, the phases of the project management. Number 1, the project initiation. First find out and research it, what exactly the project should be, how long it will run, how much time it will take, whether this budget will be the feasible for the company or not. After the finishing of the project, the utilization of the project services or the product will be on a top priority or not. Then after the project planning, because you are simply planning the project, and the planning simply bridges the gap where you are and the where you want to go. So it requires a very logical interpretation. And no plan exists without execution. If your project is the well executed, only then you may think about the delivery of the project. And after project monitoring and the controlling, when the project is on, now it is well under you to monitor it and the control it as per your choice, as per your need. And finally, when the project finalizes, then again find out where and what type of the project is the next required for. So in this way, you will have to operate. And you are the futuristic manager, and just keep it in always in the mind, this is the important, and you will have to play with this. In the meantime, I am taking a goodbye from you. Thank you very much.